Hello and welcome on Primetime Watchmaking the News, and we have quite an edition to share with you today. So I know we just came out of a pretty intensive watchmaking period, but listen to this, there are still plenty of other news to talk about. How exciting! And some other good news is that from now on we will publish all our upcoming videos in 4K, and sorry for what happened last week with some encoding issues, don't really know what happened, and it will never occur again. 4K yes, 360p no thank you. So not only some interesting new watches seen here and there, and finally we are announcing the formal introduction of the watches.club, and the main goal is to expand on this great digital community to something even cooler and even more interactive. And to be totally transparent, we are also trying to find a smart way to better finance our independence thanks to you. So for instance, I have this really massive project I would like to produce. I've been thinking about it for many years. I know what I want to do and how to do it, and now time has come to make it a reality, and I'm very sorry to remain a little bit vague at this stage, but I just don't want people to copy the idea, and I hope you understand. But for me, this is kind of a legacy project for the Watches TV. I know it may sound a little bit pompous, but it's absolutely true. Anyhow, there will be now 3 pillars to the watches.club. First one, and of course, is the watches.tv, and this will remain the core of what we do and who we are. We are videos for watchmaking. And we want to not only continue what we do, but we want to do it even better, independently, more often. And there are still so many things to say and uncover. So we're in it for a rather long time, I think. So club members will have early access to our content. We will have a few content specials for them. But don't worry, we are very open source minded people, and our contents will always be shared with everybody on this YouTube channel. So secondly, we will organize on a more regular basis our watch tripping experience, and this is the watches.travel. Here club members will have priority in terms of who can participate, simply because places will be numbered. So for instance, this year we will organize 3 watch trips for a maximum of 6 people at a time over 4.5 days. So you will find dates and pre-registration forms on our website, watchestv.com. But basically we will have one in mid-May, one in early July, and one in mid-September. So I know that these trips come at a cost, but I can promise that participants will have the time of their life and will spend some fantastic experiences together, mixing big brands, many cool smaller ones of course, I mean special encounters with artisans and other characters of the industry. Naturally, we'll have some great talkative lunches and dinners in some cool places. Well, not the boring experience at all, and yes, this also helps us finance our main mission. So the third pillar is the watches.boutique, and here the idea is simply to propose some cool and fun club merchandise, and this part is actually pretty relevant for our club members, since they will automatically receive some of that merchandise. It kind of comes in the package. So we will expand on this in the near future, but this is more of a fun thing than really making any money out of it, just a way kind of materializing our big watchmaking family. Okay, how can one become club member? Well, I will make this really as short as possible, but the idea is that our patrons will all become members. The Patreon is a very cool solution that helps content creators finance their productions through monthly pledges made by people who like what we do. And there are already some great guys out there that have been supporting us since we launched this campaign, and you can't imagine how grateful we are. But I mean, I have to confess that this has been done out of pure generosity from them, and we should all be very thankful, but now it's time to give back. In other words, and depending on your monthly pledge, you will have special benefits. We have different levels of pledges, all with super inspired names, ranging from the 3-hander at $5 a month to the chronograph at $10, the tourbillon, the pièce unique, the minute repeater, to a whopping category called the Henry Graves. And for each category, you will have a special reward. So for instance, at $5, we will send you some special watchmaking stickers. For $10, early access, guaranteed early access to all our content. For $20, you will have your name in the end credit of our videos, plus a cool t-shirt sent to you every 6 months. For $50, an additional Viva watchmaking engraved Swiss Army knife, and so forth, up to a cool customized cubic watch winder and other surprises. So I guess you get the idea, and more information obviously on our website and on our Patreon page. I mean, all the links will be below in the description of this video. So the other good news is that we now have Loïc, a true watchmaker who just joined the Watches TV, and he will make sure that all of this is happening. So that's his big mission, on top of bringing some extra technical expertise to the table. Oh yes, and then one last thing, but a nice little treat for some of our members. But sometimes we get handed special little goodies by some of the brands we cover or we see or we meet. So you know, we receive, for instance, you know, caps, pens, books, notebooks, and other little cool gadgets, and we will give these out to our club members. So we don't sell them, but we will make special announcements to our patrons when they will be made available, and we will then hand them and send them to you on a first come, first served basis. As simple as that. So again, more information on the website and Patreon page. Okay, this is it for this formal and incredibly festive introduction of the watches.club. Apart that, yes, we do have our own little place here in the old town of Geneva. I mean, you've had a glimpse of it in some of our videos, and naturally our members are very welcome to pass by if you are ever in Geneva. So we will organize small and special events here with some people from the watchmaking community industry. And can you imagine that there wasn't any such space in Geneva before? So count on us to make this true watchmaking community live on, also on a physical side, on top of these watch tripping activity I was talking about seriously. Okay, and now for some serious watchmaking news, finally! And we will start with Omega, and it really seems that they will leverage as much as possible something unique and magical the brand has, its history. And of course, during this special year with the 50th anniversary of the first man on the moon, for which Omega supplied NASA's astronauts in the 60s and 70s. So when you talk about a USP, a unique selling proposition, well, Omega possesses something really incredibly, and undoubtedly we will see many more remembrance of this in the month to come. But the super cool news coming early this year is that the brand will produce back the original movement that was encased in these moon watches with a reenactment of the caliber 321, the caliber which was first fitted in the very first Speedmaster in 1957, and for which the production stopped in 1968. So this caliber is very highly regarded by watch collectors, and Omega has been secretly working on this revival for the last 2 years, and so far we've only heard about it and seen a couple of images, but I can't wait to discover more in detail what the brand will come up with. But the news, okay, didn't stop there for Omega, as they celebrated another movement at the base of the company as we know it today. In 1894, 125 years ago, La Générale Watch Company, yeah, that was the original name of the company, created the first industrial movement which would totally change production processes in watchmaking. And this is where it becomes interesting, because the guys at the time kind of believed that they had achieved the ultimate watch movement, therefore calling it the movement itself the Omega, in reference to the letter Z of the Greek alphabet, the alpha to the omega. And it's only in 1903 that the company, which was actually founded in 1848, changed its name to this movement's name. So to celebrate this 125th anniversary, Omega also came with a reenactment of this movement with a limited edition of 19 half-hunter pocket watches with original parts stored at the company's HQ since almost a century since they stopped producing it in 1923. So the name of this pocket watch, the 19 ligne, refers to the size of the original movement, and a ligne in French, or line if you prefer, is an historical measurement unit of 2.26 millimeter, and for info, this term and unit is still used today among watchmakers. So additional to this, Omega also launched a special Omega de Ville Trésor coming in a 40 millimeter yellow gold case, paying tribute to this 125th anniversary with homage features such as special logo on the case back. But this time we're talking, you know, like modern watch movements, magnetic, and of course certified to 15,000 Gauss. Okay, enough of Omega news, and like I said, I'm pretty sure we will see plenty of Omega this year. And on a personal note, well, I really think that the brand is doing a pretty good job recently, I have to say. So next, let's talk Breitling, which also celebrates its past with a new series of watches coming in what they call the Capsule collection. These watches are aviation-oriented. They are all part of the Navitimer 1 collection with in-house chronograph movement, the B01. And so far, the brand has revealed 3 variants paying tribute to some historical name of aviation transportation companies, starting naturally with home country company Swissair, but also a Pan Am and a TWA version. So these watches will be available in April only. So let's continue, but let's remain in aviation mood, and I will talk about Bell & Ross, which introduced a new watch in its cockpit dashboard type of watches with the BR03-92 bi-compass. And a few years ago, Bell & Ross had introduced a watch I found really cool at the time with the radar, which had no real hands, but three kind of discs mimicking a bit the view of these radars we used to see in old school movies. So Bell & Ross used a bit the same technique there for the hour, but the minute and the second hands are just kind of normal. Quite a cool watch. So Jacques Hédro introduced a new version of its magnificent bird repeater with a Dubai edition featuring a falcon, emblem of the Emirates, mother of pearl and engraved micro-painted sand dunes, really a nice timepiece which represents quite distinctly the savoir-faire of the brand. So automatons and métier d'art. And I was lucky enough to see this personally as I just came back from Dubai with a special report, soon to be published. And while I was there, well, naturally I had to walk around the Dubai Mall, the temple of modern consumerism, and look at this incredible Rolex boutique. Like many things in Dubai, it's the largest in the world, spreading over 1,200 square meters, but doesn't mean you'll find any Pepsi in it either. And if recently you see plenty of pig-inspired watches, well, we have just entered the year of the pig in the Chinese calendar. Happy New Year yet again. And this is therefore totally normal. Don't ask yourself what is going on with all these pigs. Okay, let's now return to some things that also happened in Geneva during the SIHH, because as mentioned, many brands were using this big show to organize parallel events throughout the city. One such venue gathered smaller independent brands, including Singer with a pretty audacious concept version of its chronograph, Antoine Précision, Claude Mellan, among others, and also Crayon with its super impressive timepiece which lets you see sunrise and sunset times wherever you are on the planet. So I'm pretty sure we'll get back on this one because this more than 600 component watch is really totally worth it. So we continued our little tour and dropped by Jacob & Co., who announced a new partnership with superstar footballer Lionel Messi, and for the occasion came with a new chronograph. And I have to admit that I knew about some of the brand's watches, but actually had never seen them in real, and they are pretty impressive timepieces. Yeah, pretty impressive, but let's not get distracted, and I got to look more closely at the Astronomia, and yes, this is a rather large timepiece, but what's happening inside is quite astonishing. I mean, it's a total show for the eye, and on the watchmaking perspective, well, these pieces are super well done, and they really don't take any shortcuts when it comes to ingenuity and craftsmanship. So I mean, just look at all these crazy watches and their mechanics, like this, I mean, this epic multi-axis double tourbillon minute repeater in a carbon case. I mean, what a program. And I hope we'll be able to discover a bit more of this technicality if they open their door to us. Also in the news, I saw the rather astonishing TAG Heuer Calibre Heuer 02T tourbillon nanograph, and this watch really represents something quite amazing. I mean, when TAG Heuer initially came with this chrono tourbillon, a couple of years ago, it had sparked quite a lot of debate since it was priced at a super aggressive price of approximately $15,000. So some people saying that it was diminishing how tourbillons should be positioned, and that was a fair debate. But now TAG Heuer is introducing something really revolutionary, since the hairspring is made out of nanotubes of carbon instead of metallic alloys. So not only it is by definition amagnetic, but it's also super tough and can take massive shocks without even blinking. So chronometry seems to be seriously improved, and these new hairsprings are now produced using like wafer techniques seen with the production of microchips, for instance. So this is really an amazing feat achieved by the new LVMH Tech Lab, directed by the genius Guy Simon. You know, that's the man behind so many disruptive innovations in watchmaking of the last 15 years, including the Zenith DeFi Lab and its strange oscillator. And I just hope we will also be able to head to La Chaux-de-Fonds and unveil more in detail the behind the scenes of this real breakthrough. And on a side note, I just love how there are still so many developments going on when some people think watchmaking is just an outdated field of technical expression. Okay, so now what to expect in the coming weeks? Well, if you're in the US, you might want to drop by Miami between the 15th and the 17th, as most exhibiting brands of the SIHH, big and small ones, 30 in total, will be on site in the design district showcasing what was unveiled in Geneva. I'm pretty sure this will be a very fun event to attend. Would love to go myself, but unfortunately might be a little bit complicated. But something very cool coming your way too is that we will shortly have a new sequence on the Watches TV, as we will introduce some very special unboxing videos of only extremely crazy and exceptional timepieces. Should be fun and pretty spectacular. Anyhow, this is it for this edition of Prime Time. I know we talked quite a lot about us, but yes, this Watches Club thing is really important. I mean, it's a really important step, and we really want to further improve what we do and how we do it, with the same goal of sharing what watchmaking is all about through our videos and experience. So on that note, also wanted to say how thankful and happy we were to finally cross the 10,000 subscriber mark on our Instagram. God, if that took some time. Thanks for what's going on over there. And regarding this channel, well, we've also crossed the 90,000 subscriber mark. You can't imagine how proud we are. And hopefully soon we will finally cross that 100K subscriber mark on this channel. Big party at thewatches.club for sure. I mean, a big one. So thanks so much for your support, your commenting, sharing, and so forth. It really feels like a nice family, a growing one. So of course we hope to have many new club members, and off we go for our final Viva Watchmaking! Thanks for watching and see you real soon. See you maybe here in the center of the old town of Geneva. See you soon.